What is going on, 18? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at more of the SB19 story documentary from Casual Chuck's channel. And today we are only going to be checking out one episode, but this is going to be episode 0, Ghost, 3 missing members revealed. So we still have 4 more of the episodes after this, right? 3, 4, and 5, 6, and I'll probably watch those in batches, right? With 2 episodes for those videos. Otherwise, yes, we'll be switching on and off between the documentary and listening to tracks, right, and MVs and stuff like that from the guys, whether that's their official stuff or solo stuff. But yeah, without further ado, I'm interested to get into this episode. Let's see. I think we should be fine without captions, right? So if I need them, I'll put them on. But yeah, I'm super interested to see what we're going to hear about in this episode. Of course, support Casual Chuck, right? And let's get into this video.
Disclaimer, this video is only based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to have discrepancies, but I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible, so enjoy. Some people called me out because I credited the Go Up dance choreography to Stel and Kim. They wanted me to only credit Stel. Well, guess what? I was wrong. Because it was all of them who choreographed it.
Oh, okay.
Bakit? Ikaw ba nag-choreograph ng ad-lib namin?
Hindi. Siyempre, kakapolish ko sa inyo, nakabisado ko na yung ad-libs nyo. Oh.
It was a team effort.
Fair
Now that
enough.
we're past that, let's get into the video. This is the timeline that most of us know. A timeline that we managed to stitch together using the information we found on the web. The internet is a vast universe. It is so big that there are still tons of information that are just hidden in plain sight.
That's true.
And some of them are just waiting to be discovered.
All right, here we go. Ghost.
What if I told you that Pablo, Stel, Josh, and Justin almost debuted with 3 other guys in 2017?
Really?
Would you believe me?
Interesting. Yeah, can you imagine if, like, instead of a, 5-member group, there were, like, 7 or 8? That would have been pretty nuts. Dang, that's gotta be Stel, right? It's gotta be him.
Did Stel just belt the entire bridge?
That's crazy.
Damn. Their group surely looked and sounded promising, but what exactly happened to the 3 other guys?
Before we even became SB19, as a group po, actually si Stel na iwan siya. Si Stel and Justin actually. Kumbaga lahat kami nag-quit na. Bumalik lang kami dahil nga parang gusto namin ipagpatuloy yung pangarap namin.
The word quit has a negative connotation, but we have to understand that there are a lot of things going on behind that decision. A good example is the lack of financial income, because they didn't even have a salary to begin with. And I'm sure that there are many other valid reasons. Imagine doing the same thing over and over and over again.
It's
for
a
more
lot,
than 2
man.
years. I can only imagine their state of mind during those times. So let's address the elephant in the room. Who are these guys? And where in the world are they now?
That one man. That one man was posing with nothing but a cat. That's crazy.
Do you recognize this guy? I'm not talking about shirtless Stel, you guys.
No, the guy
I'm
next to
talking
him,
about
yeah.
this guy, Rafa.
Rafa.
He was
okay.
supposed to be the group's bass vocalist.
Oh.
After training with Show BT, he moved on by running a K-pop reaction channel on YouTube.
Oh, really?
He also works as a freelance videographer and is now actively supporting his presidential candidate.
Oh, wow.
He also made an appearance in the emotionally charged video greeting for SB19 in their Our Zone concert.
Really? That's cool.
After a few test runs, they revamped the group to join the 2017 Pinoy K-pop star. This is when the prototype team was formed. For whatever reason, Rafa was replaced by this guy, Zeno.
Oh. Are there 7 of them now?
They did not win in the competition.
Uh,
After Zeno's stint with Show BT, he became a member of the OG roster of the K-pop cover group called Zero to Hero.
oh, okay.
And speaking of OG members, it just so happened that C13 of Vision was part of it as well.
Dang.
It's so mind-blowing how interconnected our idols' lives were, and I'm not even done yet. During my research, I stumbled upon this clip with C13 and Josh on the same stage. Just a fair warning, what you're about to see will slightly break your heart.
Wow. Damn. Jeez.
I also saw C13 getting tired of his clothes.
Oh, no. Oh, God, that dude can flip. Oh, DNA? Jesus. We've been covering DNA up in here? Nice.
Nananahimik ako sa pagre-research tapos ito yung bubulaga. Anyway, when C13 left the country to work in the US, the remaining Zero to Hero members decided to debut as a P-pop group.
Sa'yo na lang ang puso kong ito. Ginamit
Interesting.
na may gasgas pa pero gumagana pa naman. Sana naman ingatan mo ito. May takot man pero kayang lampasan. Huwag kang mag-alala.
I'm sure most of you didn't know this, but their debut wasn't a success, so they were forced to back out. After the setback, Zeno got into modeling and also pursued his interest
That's
in freelance videography. In the present day, he lives his life privately with a little mix of dancing from time to time. While all of these things are happening, our boy Ken has been wreaking havoc in the K-pop dance cover world with his group GA7,
GA7. Damn.
and Amigo 7.
Was that him doing it in slow motion?
Sheesh.
Yeah. I was about to say the same thing,
The
bro.
next one I'm gonna talk about is this guy, Kurt. Not gonna lie, I sometimes mistook him for Justin because they have a similar frame.
Yeah, I could see
Even
it.
before his trainee days, he was already a member of Seon together with Stel and Josh. After training with Show BT, he moved on by teaching dance to students and continued performing with his
okay.
K-pop cover group called Principium.
Hey, nice. Nice. Hey.
You can check out their YouTube channel. They
Oh, that's
still
cool.
make some awesome K-pop dance covers to this day. Kurt presently works as an animator and a digital painter. as
Really?
well.
That's pretty awesome. Ooh, P-PopCon 2022. Press It Play. I've heard of Press It Play.
It
People
wasn't
have
only
asked me to
Pablo
check
who
them
stood
out too.
there to watch the whole duration of PHP's rehearsal. There was also Stel, Josh, and Justin. It's because they were brothers. The last guy who almost became SB19 happens to be a member of PHP now,
Oh,
and
cool.
that is JP.
Awesome, good
This
for him.
guy, along with Charles and Yukito, were Pablo's mentors because he
Oh,
was the
really?
youngest among their PHP dance cover
Ah.
group. They were instrumental in what Pablo has become. The boys also trained in Show BT together, only to see their closest brothers to not make it. This specific moment is very special because we just witnessed the full circle. From Pablo being the youngest to becoming the leader of SB19. From seeing his brothers struggle so hard to finally seeing their success. In our lives, there can be moments when you feel like it's easier to give up. Heck, some people in this video even gave up at one point.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
they came right back with a different perspective. Their past didn't break them. It built them. Yukito was in fact the leader of Zero to Hero that failed in their debut. But that didn't stop him. He came back with a different game plan together with his brothers who also failed with him in the past, and look at where they are now. So if you're watching this video and you are going through tough times, change your perspective. Thank the person who broke up with you because it gave you the opportunity to meet
Oh,
someone
dang, this is
better in
getting
your
deeper
life.
than I
Thank your boss
imagined.
for firing you because it gave you the opportunity to explore entrepreneurship. Thank your haters because life would be boring without them. Don't be bitter. Be better. Always choose to be kind. If you don't do that, you'll just end up as a mere ghost in the past.
Man, bro, be getting deep with some of this stuff. Jeez. Yeah, that was it's a pretty short episode actually. I mean, it went by fast. Man, there's some really interesting things too when you think about, like, you could draw comparisons to that to a lot of things, right? When you think about how many people just don't make groups, and there's so many people who try out for groups and never really live their dream, at least at the time, right? And it's, and I'm not saying that you can't change. I'm sure there's plenty of people who thought that, well, I'll try being an idol, and then it's like, well, no, okay. So I gave it my best. Unfortunately, I just didn't quite get there. But, I've found success in other things that I also ended up loving too. And that's kind of one of the interesting things too, is like I said, just talking to people and figuring out that they, have experience in things that you would never imagine. Like, how many people would see, like, an animator, right? Like Xeno. Right, and without knowing, like, they just know him as an animator, and then they're like, oh, well, he was like almost in a P-pop group. He was almost in SB19. That's crazy, right? And he was in these other, dance groups, doing covers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool to see, and it is wild to imagine, like, what if Stel was one of the only members, that we know now. But what if he was one of the only members of that original group? What if there was no Pablo or no Justin or no Josh or no Ken? What if it was Stel and then just completely different guys? It's always interesting to me to think of, like, how would it be like? Would it be the same? Would they see the same success? I think things do happen for a reason, right? I think there's a reason for everything, and I think the success, especially of these groups, right there, because there's been quite a few groups in K-pop that have similar, I guess you could say, roads traveled, where you have, trainees that never debuted, and you wonder, like, what would have been like if certain members didn't make it and other members did, and these people aren't around and these ones are, and it is cool to see, like, okay, well, these candidates didn't make it for this group, but they found success in this group, and they're also, connected to each other. And seeing the scene, like, I wonder, I mean, I guess you still probably do see that, right? In K-pop, maybe not as much because the industry of K-pop is obviously, it has grown to be so much bigger. But even just, recently watching the Guide to a Tease, where they talked about how two of their members, were at Hybe, training under Hybe as trainees, and then went to KQ, and obviously debuted in a Tease. It does make you wonder, like, I wonder how many, how many of these people meet like each other during training, and then they're off in different groups, and it's hard to. I guess it depends too on the time that you spend with someone, right? Because obviously it's going to be harder for you to stay connected. But I would like to think that, for certain groups, even the people that maybe they didn't make it as trainees, but they spend so much time with them that they keep sort of connected and stuff like that. And so I can imagine, since, P-pop itself, I don't know, man. I can't speak for every P-pop group there is. I can only really speak for three of them, which is SB19, G22, and Beanie. But those three, the three that I've checked out, man, are, on a whole nother level than quite a few K-pop groups. You know what I mean? Like, how many K-pop groups are out there that don't really, and that's the thing is, and eventually it might be the same for P-pop too, right? Once you have sort of a flooded market, which a lot of entertainment is flooded, like, let's be real. There's so many options for various forms of entertainment that it's harder. Excuse me. It gets harder and harder with, like, as each year goes by to really make it. That's why it's important to stand out. And, P-pop right now is so fresh, and they're so the members in these groups are so well trained and stuff like that, that it's no wonder, that they're standing out. But it could get to that point, I mean, how many like, per year, how many groups debut in K-pop? So many. I mean, even back in 2012, there was nearly 100 groups in K-pop alone that debuted, and how many of them disbanded within a year or two? It's crazy. So, but yeah, it's cool to see, and I can't wait to check out the rest of this documentary. Thank you guys for checking it out, and I will see you guys next time for some more SB19. Peace.